Hey, everybody. Ready to rock and roll with everybody. I just want to welcome y'all and glad you could join me tonight. Can you guys hear me? Can somebody please put a Y or a thumbs up in the chat? I'd appreciate it. I really want this webinar to be interactive, so I need you guys to help me out and just put a little hi in there or a Y or anything to let me know. Thank you. Thank you. Shatara, thanks. I'll appreciate it. Zoom user, thank you. So everything's okay, and you can see the first slide of the presentation, right? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. First of all, before I leave this slide, I just want to explain what the definition of a first-time home buyer is. It seems pretty logical, right? First-time home buyer kind of says it all, but they've expanded the definition of first-time home buyers. First-time home buyers are now anybody who has not owned a home within the last 3 years. If you're in that category, you can take advantage of all the first-time home buying specials for loans in Massachusetts. So that's a little ray of light. If somebody knows somebody that's in that situation and would like to do some first-time home buying benefits, I'm here to help. Okay, first of all, let's go over a few little rules. I said it already, but I really want this to be interactive. I'd like to get people just like we just had people put yes in the chat. Also, during the cameras, your cameras, you can have them on or off. What's your choice, whatever you feel like. Always during the presentation, find a chat box, say hi, raise a hand button while you're at it. I just like to be interactive. I get psyched up and I give you a lot more better information. All right. Stack up all those questions in the chat, okay? We'll have answers, we'll have question and answers at the end of the presentation. Presentation is about 35 minutes. Then we'll go into questions and answers. And I'll be able to take all the questions and answers that you have. Okay? Okay, please silence your phone though. I'd appreciate that if you silence your phones. You'll get a lot more out of it, and so will I. All right, tonight's the first step to building your home purchasing foundation. Okay, hopefully I can give you some great information tonight, so that you feel good about the journey that you're about to be on, or that you want to be on. Let's put it that way. Let me ask you, how are you feeling right now? Are you concerned? Are you stressed out? Intimidated? Anxious? Uncertain? Why are you feeling like this? First of all, relax. These feelings are normal. After all, this is probably the largest purchase you guys will make so far in your lifetime. If you're anything like my wife and I, when we purchased our first house, we had our first daughter. Our second daughter was on the way, due in June. We were building a house, and the house wasn't ready until September. So you talk about being stressed out, anxious, uncertain, concerned. We had all those feelings. But you know something? It's normal. Hopefully I can give you some good information tonight so that I can reduce your level of stress. Now, in the chat, if someone could just tell me, is anybody feeling concerned, stressed out, intimidated, anxious, or uncertain? I really appreciate some input on here and see which way I got to go, because I know I was when I bought my first house. Okay, so we are. So that's good. Concerned, a little stressed. I love that. That's perfect. It's exactly what you should be feeling, because this is a large purchase. This is going to change your life. And it's a great step to take. Okay, and you can take that step, and we're going to give you reasons why tonight you can take that step. Okay, just a little bit about me. I grew up in Central Mass, Southbridge, Mass. Graduated from Salem State, lived mostly in the Metro Boston area, Somerville, Charlestown, Wilmington, Andover, North Reading. Father of 4 ladies. grandfather at 10, married for 48 years. Family is very important. 48 years. Can you give me a little Yahoo? It's been great. And I love working with first-time home buyers. All right. So you're in a good place because I love working with first-time home buyers. All right. Now, the little picture. Here they are. All right. The 10 of them. As a matter of fact, tonight, I'm coming to you from Charlestown, Massachusetts, where we are babysitting, my wife and I, 1, 2, 3 of our grandchildren. So if things get a little crazy at times and you hear a little background noise, there you go. That's why it's happening. Okay, enough about me. What's the first mistake? Because I like to go through the mistakes to see if you have any of these feelings too. Assuming you need a 20% down payment. Let's now investigate some mortgage programs with much lower down payments. Thanks, Vanessa. Cute, she says, cute family. I think it is a cute family. I appreciate that. All right, loan products with low down payments. First of all, Fannie and Freddie are the government agencies that purchase probably 70% of the loans out there. They're called conventional first-time home buyer loans. Down payment as low as 3%. So you don't need 20%. You can get down to 3%. So that's kind of like a ray of light, right? Let's get another one. FHA, 3.5% down. You have to pay an upfront mortgage insurance premium with FHA. The reason why is that FHA will go down to a pretty low score. Okay, they'll go all the way down to 580. And the rate really doesn't change much because you're paying the UFMIP. Now, that being said, sometimes it's a lot better to go conventional or go at FHA, and that's something that we can review as time goes on. VA, if you're a veteran or you're in a USDA area, there are areas in Massachusetts that are okayed for USDA financing. You can get 0% down. So this is something that, if you know a veteran, if you're a veteran, or we can get you 0% down. You do have to pay a little funding fee for the VA and an upfront guarantee fee for the USDA, but you put no money down. All right. And all those fees go into the mortgage. So you don't have to come up with that money either. So that's another ray of light, right? Statewide down payment assistance programs with Mass Housing. Okay, let's take a look at this. Mass Housing is fantastic. That's why I set these webinars up for people from Massachusetts. You can get $25,000, and there's another program where you can get $30,000 for down payment assistance. Okay, I'm going to show you an example now as far as how this works. And I want you guys to get excited because I've done a lot of these. And the people are ecstatic to know that they can get into a house for practically no money down, paying all their closing costs and everything else. Here's an example of a down payment assistance with Mass Housing. Jack and Jill, we all know them, wishes to buy a $600,000 home. They can qualify for a Mass Housing down payment assistance loan for $25,000. So they can get $25,000. First-time homebuyers can utilize, as I said on the slide previous, can utilize 3% down payment conventional loan. Both Fannie and Freddie offer this program. So a 3% down on a $600,000 home would be $18,000, right? That leaves us with $7,000 left over the $25,000 for closing costs. Now, usually closing costs are around $8,000 in Massachusetts. So that means they can buy their new home for $100,000 cash. Can everybody give me a hoorah in the chat, or give me something? Give me a yay, give me a nay, give me a whatever. But at least I know you're hearing and you're seeing how exciting this is, right? This is unbelievably exciting. And people don't understand that they can do this, but they can. And I've done a lot of them, and it's nice when I go to the closings, it's fantastic to go in to the closing and see how happy the buyers are. They just bought themselves a house with $1,000 down. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I just want to let you know that. So if you move forward, if we do something, you'll be able to see how exciting this is for you guys. Now, what I do is I'm offering you a free consultation. And that's the booking link right there. You can go to my calendar, get a time. It'd be a half-hour consultation. We'll go through everything. Matter of fact, there'll be a lot of other issues that I'm going to bring up tonight, and we'll be able to go through it. This is personal. This has nothing to do with the open ear like we are here today, okay? So I'll meet with you on the phone for half an hour, go through everything, go through any kind of personal questions that you may have, and can explain more and get into more detail about your personal situation, okay? All right, mistake number 2, not checking your credit report. Now, I know I'm going to sound a little cocky, right? But I'm really good at what I do. But seeing I had my own credit repair company prior to becoming a loan officer, I'm really, really good at this. Now, thing that's confusing about credit scores, and I'll go into it with detail, in some detail on the next slide. Things that are confusing. You get a credit score, it's not the right score. Because FICO, who is the predominant provider of credit scores, has multiple credit scores. Matter of fact, they have credit scores dependent upon the kind of asset you're financing. Right? So if you're financing an automobile, you're going to get one score. If you're financing a mortgage, you're going to get another score. And if you're financing a credit card, you're going to get another score. Now, what makes sense, and think about it, if you go for a credit card, that is referred to as unsecured debt. You're not securing it with anything, right? So your score on an unsecured debt is probably going to be a little lower than would be on your mortgage. All right, because the mortgage, most people don't go late on a mortgage. They try not to. All right, that's the last thing they give up because it's important to them. If they miss a credit card payment because of financial times, hardships, they'll probably delay or 30 days late on the credit card. So your score is going to be a little bit lower there. So I just want you to understand how that works. And most of the scores you get online aren't FICO scores. So I want you to understand too. And if you do get a FICO score, you're going to get a blended FICO score, which means they've taken them all the different kind of scoring mechanisms, melded them together, and you get a score out of that. Now, if you want to know your true FICO score for mortgages, you go to myfico.com, myfico.com. Myfico.com will give you all your credit scores that are important. It gives you your credit card score. It'll give you your mortgage score. It'll give you an automobile score. It costs about $40 a month. Now, if you book a meeting with me for half an hour, we should be able to get to a point where I can pull a soft pull credit report so it does not affect your credit. The soft pull credit report will give me everything I need to know to help you either increase your score or tell you that you're all set. Now, the number one step that you can take to increase your score is paying down your credit cards. Now, what does a score mean? All the FICO scores range from 300 to 850. The higher the score, the less the odds of default, of course, right? So if you got an 800, 850, you're going to pay your bills on time. All right. And you're going to keep low balances on your credit card. And you're going to have a mortgage and you're going to have a couple cars. They like to see that kind of mix. And I'll go through that too in a little while. Each score is specific to each bureau. So if you go to Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, you're going to get 3 different scores. In the mortgage industry, we use the middle score. So if you were to get a 760, a 700, and a 708, we're going to use the 708. It's the mid score. It's not the average of all the scores. It's the mid score. You can see how there's a lot of confusion. The FICO scoring, there really is. All right. Each score is specific, like I said earlier, to the product being financed. So it's a mortgage, automobile, credit cards, etc. So you can go to myfico.com and get those scores, or you can book a half an hour consultation with me, and we'll go through. We should be able to get to a point of me being able to pull a credit score. You have to give me permission and stuff. And it's going to be a soft pull, so it won't affect your credit, but I'll be able to see everything that's on your credit report and help you figure out what you need to do to get that score up a little bit. All right. Here's the pie chart of the importance of 5 different elements that go into the FICO score. I just want to draw your attention to one thing, and that's inquiry percentage. See this? That's what the inquiry costs you score. It's only 10% of your credit score. So I just want you to understand that. I know the inquiries get a lot of play in today's world, but inquiries are bad, but they're not that bad. They're not as bad as missing a payment. All right. Number 1 is past delinquencies. Number 2 is revolving debt ratio, right? So your credit cards, all your unsecured debt. If they're maxed out, guess what? You're going to have a problem. Average age of file. Most first-time home buyers have no control of that, because that just builds with longevity. And also, mix of credit builds with longevity too. They like to see credit cards, automobiles, mortgages. They like to see a mix of credit. That's how you get your highest one. And then inquiries is 10%. So what I'm saying is that don't worry. Worry a little bit about credit, about inquiries, but don't worry a lot. Matter of fact, on the inquiry, just to get, I like to give people this information. If you're buying an automobile, any inquiry that you get in a 30-day period only counts as 1. So I know people go to buy an automobile and a dealership will run your credit to 10 different places to see where they can get the best rate. That only counts as 1 credit pull. Same things goes for mortgages and education debt. So that way there you should understand, that I don't want you getting nervous. Like if you finally make the decision to go full blown for a mortgage or to get pre-approved, all right, you will get an inquiry pulled. Now, I'm going to do a soft pull when you schedule your consultation with me. All right, so that doesn't affect your credit score. All right. Now let's get to the third mistake that people make. How we doing? Everybody still awake? Go ahead. Go ahead. You can give me a high, a buy, or whatever. I love it. Yes. Okay. Thanks, Zoom user. Vanessa, thank you. I hope everybody's getting some good information tonight to bring down the anxiety of what you're about to do. Okay, the third mistake is skipping a mortgage pre-approval before home shopping, which can lead to disappointment or missed opportunities. In short, a mortgage pre-approval helps you shop smarter, act faster, and negotiate better, making your home buying journey simpler and more successful. Think about it. If you're going into a candy store and you got $1 and you buy a bunch of candy, it's $2, guess what? You can't afford it. So you got to put some back. It's the same thing with getting mortgage pre-approval. Mortgage pre-approval is going to give you the number that you can afford, which is going to make you a lot happier and a lot less stressful when you're going through the process of buying a home. All right, it shows sellers that you're a serious buyer, right? So it actually shows them that I've been pre-approved. I have this pre-approval right here. It says that I can afford a $500,000 home purchase, 3% down, $15,000. Oh, by the way, I got down payment assistance. Down payment assistance means I don't have to bring any money to the closing. And all of a sudden, they, well, how do you do that? Mass housing. And I can help you with that. It clarifies your true price range. So you know what you can afford. Now, I'm going to tell you what you can approve, what you can afford. All right. And we should be able to do that during that half-hour consultation, one-on-one consultation. We should be able to and clarify a true price range that you're going to be in. But you don't have to go for the whole thing. So if I come back to you and I say, hey, listen, it sounds to me like you're going to be approved for like $700,000 purchase price with a 3% down payment, 21,000 will get you mass housing, yada, 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 right? You don't have to go to 700,000. If you're not comfortable with that payment, you tell me, Kim, I'm not comfortable. Let's work the payments out. A matter of fact, I can share my screen like I'm doing right now. I can show you the program I'm using. We can go back and forth and actually do some what ifs so that you're comfortable in the number that you're going to get out there looking for. Okay. It speeds up the buying process. You know what you can afford, right? So if you know what you can afford, it's faster. You don't have to worry about going out and get pre-approved. You have your pre-approval. Identifies potential qualifying issues early. So if we get together in a half hour, say, hey, listen, I'd like to see your credit card balances taken down a little bit. I'd like to get that score up to 720, 740. If we do this, I think we'll get there. And if we get there, the whole world opens up to you. All right. That's what I think we can accomplish in a half hour. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys have a lot of questions in the half hour and it goes longer, all right, there's a certain point in time, because these appointments get stacked up. Comes a certain point in time, I have to say, hey, listen, we got to reschedule. I got to do another meeting with, and I'm more than willing to do that. I'm more than willing to do anything I have to do to make sure that you get your answers you get the answers to your questions that you need. Improves negotiating power. Like I said, you know what you can afford. A buyer loves that. All right. Your realtor will help you negotiate the price, and it's fantastic. It's good. You're just comfortable. Reduces stress and surprises because you know what you can afford. All right, let's go through this. What's the difference between a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval versus an underwritten pre-approval? Well, on our 30-minute discussion, what we're going to strive for is to get you a pre-qualification. Now, what's a pre-qualification? A pre-qualification means that I've given you a number of what I think you can afford. I've seen your credit report, but you furnish what your salary is, how much you make a month. You furnish how much money you got in the bank. Do you have it? Do you have 5,000? Do you have 10,000? Do you have 50,000? Do you have 100,000 in the bank? You control what you give me. I make my decision on that. Now, as we move forward, if you want to go further and everything looks good, I would move it to a pre-approval stage. Now, realtor sellers love pre-approvals because what it means is that I've seen your numbers. So I've seen your pay stubs. I've seen your bank statements. I've seen your W-2s. If you own a small business, I've seen the last 2 years of your taxes. And I work with that. And I get you a pre-approval. Now, I got a pretty good batting average. If I tell you you're going to approve, if I do a pre-approval and I see all the documents and I tell you can approve a $500,000 home, you can afford a $500,000 home. I'm good at that. Like I said, I'm good. I'm really good. All right. And then once we get to that point, I'm going to take your file. Now you may call me on a Friday night and say, Kim, I need a pre-approval for $500,000. So I give you the pre-approval. But then what we're going to do is I'm going to take your file, I'm going to send it to the underwriter. Right? The underwriter is going to bless the numbers. Now, when the seller sees that you have an underwritten pre-approval, which means that the underwriter has gone through everything and they've blessed the numbers. They love that. You go right to the top of the heap. You go right to the top of the heap, all right, because they know that you're qualified for the number that's on that pre-approval. And they know that the only thing that's holding this transaction back now is the property. Does it pass muster? Does it pass the inspection? Does it pass the appraisal? Can they get title? It's all on them now. It has nothing to do with you. You've done your thing. You put the thing right on the table and said, I can do this. Show me you can. It's exciting. That's great. All right. You got the post. I just posted. It was Javier. Thank you, Javier. He just posted the link in the chat. By all means, please log in now and go for it. All right. Mistake number 4, letting emotions drive the purchase and overextending financially by falling in love with a home outside their budget. It's the first mistake they make. They start looking, right? I looked on Zillow. I saw this house. I love the house. It's $700,000. I think I can afford that. I didn't like that $500,000 home because it didn't have a bidet. I don't know. I mean, there's always some kind of emotion that drives it. Anybody fall in love with a Zillow listing for over what their budget is? You don't know that, right? You don't know that. But did we? Let me know. Let me know. I have. Hi, Vanessa. Vanessa, we're going to help a lot. All right, don't be shy. We've all been there. Okay, we've all looked for the bigger piece of pie, right? And the only thing you get out of it is heartburn. So by doing the pre-approval, we're going to take care of that. Or you're going to take care of that. All right, mistake number 5, overlooking a thorough home inspection and missing hidden issues that could lead to expensive repairs. Now, for first-time home buyers, I'm going to give you a little heads up. You got to do one of these. So the way it goes is that you give the offer, your offer is accepted. Once your offer is accepted, you have the right in the state of Massachusetts to do an inspection. You don't have to, but you have the right to do an inspection of the property. Now, inspection is different than the appraisal. The inspection is Captain Clouseau, whatever his name is, with the eye thing. All right. They look for everything. And I'll get into all that. So why get an inspection? It reveals hidden problems. What if you move in without the inspection and you find out that you need a new roof? Now, that's good. That's $20,000. What if the septic system isn't any good? That's $25,000, if not more. All right. So once you find these problems, you may still want to move forward to house, but it would help you with negotiating. So when you talk to the seller's agent or the seller, all right, you tell them this, and this is wrong. And we want a reduction in price for this, and this. All right. It also gives you the peace of mind. See, one of the main themes of this whole thing tonight is to give my clients peace of mind. I want them to feel as comfortable. No matter what I do, you're always going to have some anxiety, believe me. But I try to take care of the majority of the negatives so that you can feel comfortable when you get to the closing table. All right. And then sometimes when we use VA or FHA, they demand an inspection because they have to look for pest infestations, water damage. The ceiling's got to be right. I mean, the roof's got to be right. The paint can't be chipped or peeling. So we have to have one for them. Now let's talk about inspection versus appraisal. Inspector goes in and they look at everything in the house. They look at the stairs, they look at the paint, they look at the ceiling, they climb up into the attic, they look at the roof, They make sure the roof is in good shape. There's no water damage, like it says up in the top paragraph over here. They look for everything: mold, radon, carbon monoxide. All right. They check the electrical systems. All right, to make sure that they're safe. It's not knob and tube the way they used to make them back in the 50s. They check for everything, and they give you a detailed report. Now, if everything's clean, you get a clean report. If it's not, they're going to mention the things that could end up being a problem. Now, an appraisal is different. Appraisal is not as detailed as far as how the house appears, or how strong or how good the house is. It doesn't look deep into the roof. You know, it looks for a little bit of water in the cellar, but it doesn't look for any past damages, stuff like that. The inspection looks at the bones of the house. The appraiser looks at what that 3-bedroom home is worth in the area. So they go by what's in the specifications of the home. And their job is to go within a mile radius of your home, of the one you're looking to purchase, right? Go in a mile radius of that home and find comparable sales over the last year. So they look and they try to figure out, okay, there's a 3-bedroom, they got 2.5 baths, they got cellar that's finished. They go through all the specifications of the house. Now, by doing that, all right, they can come up with the appraisal of what the house is worth. So they need to get 3 comps. They call comps comparable houses, and they need to meld them together and try to come up with the average of what they think your house fits into those 3. It's a complicated procedure. It's hard, but that's how the appraisal is. So I always say to people, please do not skip the inspection. Now, it's easier today because Massachusetts just came out with a new law on the 15th of October, which says that offers cannot indicate if the buyer is offering to waive the inspection. So what that means is that when all the offers are presented, they can't say that they're waiving the inspection. The reason why that is so is that the buyer, the seller would definitely try to go to someone who's waiving the inspection, because that's one less check that they have to live through, right? This way here, it gives everybody who's making the offer the opportunity to do the inspection. So if you want to do an inspection, you do the inspection. If you don't, after your offer is accepted, now all this is after the offer is accepted. If you say, I'm not going to do an inspection, you don't do one. All right. But in my estimation, I would push everybody into doing an inspection, especially first-time home buyers. All right. You want to know what's wrong with that house. A lot of first-time home buyers are going into homes with not a lot of cash in the bank. All right. So a $20,000 roof could be a problem. So the $500, $600, $700 that you spend on the inspection is well worth it. Oh, the one thing that I forgot to mention, and by all means, please, the link to your one-on-one consultation is in the chat. Please click on it. You can do it right now. We're going to get the questions and answers. I don't know. I don't see that many questions and answers. Please throw questions in there so we can address them. If you have a question, I'm going to guarantee you that everybody else on this phone call has the same question. All right. So please do that. So book that. We're going to go through the home buyer preparation program. That's what we're going to develop when you book the one-on-one consultation. Oh, by the way, there's no charge. There's no charge for anything. When you deal with a mortgage loan officer, that mortgage loan officer cannot charge you for anything. Everything gets settled out at the closing. All right, so my commission gets paid at the closing. I want you to know that. So you could call me 24 times a day. And I could have to answer everything. I want to answer your questions because I want you to be comfortable with the financing part of the home. And I do that. I can do that. Okay, so help me help you. So the roadmap to confidential home ownership, personalized action plan. Now, we can't get into a lot of personal things on a venue like this, but once we get into that one-on-one consultation, you bet you we can. And I've seen it all. So I hold nothing back. I go right after everything, that all the information that I need. I'll ask you questions, you ask me questions, and we'll get a good communication going. So we're going to assess your goals, your finances, and your challenges, credit position. What do you need to fix? Any action tips that we need to take? Down payment assistance. We'll go through down payment assistance. We'll see if you're qualified for down payment assistance. All right. Affordability analysis. What's your comfortable range? Remember what I said. I may tell you 700. You may not be comfortable with 700. That's the key word right there. It's comfortable. What are you comfortable with your price range? And we include the taxes and insurance when we show you the monthly number, because a lot of places will only give you your principal and interest. We figure everything in so that you know what you're committing to. I work with all kind of realtors. I don't, as they say, I'm realtor agnostic, but I do have realtors that I work with all the time. All right, that are vetted. I like them. I got inspectors. So you get trusted connections that way too. All right, and this is all in scheduling your free one-on-one consultation. Do it now while we're going through questions. Click on the link and set yourself up for a meeting. All right, and I'm available. Don't worry about that. All right, so I don't see. Do we have any questions? Let me see. Does anybody want to unmute? Hold on, I got to do something. You can ask questions. I'm going to unmute as soon as I find it. Okay, you can unmute. Who can see your messages? Okay, got it. Okay, questions? No questions so far. Great information. All right, anybody need any answers to any questions? You can unmute yourself and ask away. Don't be bashful. Come on. Don't be bashful. I'm here to help. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't looking for questions. All right. Okay, listen. I hope you get that. I hope you get that link, and I hope you book the half an hour with me, because I'd really like to answer any questions you have. And it's really your time. So click on that link, book your one-on-one, and I booked mine for tomorrow at 11. Good, thanks, Ashley. That's perfect. Anybody else book already? I'll be ready. I'll be there waiting for you. Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate that. I hope I can help you. All right. And with that, if you book, great. I'll be there waiting for you. And Ashley, I'll see you tomorrow at 11:15, I mean. And we'll go through a half an hour, and we'll go through everything. I'll answer any questions. Shatara, thank you. You booked yours for Monday. We'll go through that on Monday for you. Piece of cake. That's fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Book it, and I'll be there. I'll be there for you. Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining. And you have my email. You have my text. If you have any questions that you're thinking of, you don't book something and all of a sudden you're thinking of a question, don't hesitate. That's what I'm here. I'm here to help. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And hopefully you book and I talk to you. Any questions, I'm around. Thank you.